Welcome to Flipping Miami, a podcast for those who want to learn real estate investing, do more, and make more. Now, here is your host, Raul Bolufe.
That's cool. No, it's like a little, like I said, like an open-minded question I like to ask. That's awesome, dude. So I want to transition into more of like, okay, so you've been wholesaling for how many years?
2019. So yeah, about 3.5 years now.
Love it. So you've been wholesaling for about 3.5.
Oh, no, wait, no. 4.5 years now.
Oh shit. All right. So 4.5 years in this business. What's been the biggest mistake that's taken you the longest to learn? What's been the biggest lesson that's taken you the longest to learn?
Focus. And I'm still struggling with it.
Yeah.
I am an impatient person. I'm the kind that wants everything done 2 weeks ago, right? I thought of it today, but I wanted it done already. So with that, I've really tried to hone in onto sticking to one project at a time.
Okay.
You know, I've heard it a lot. I've read the one thing. I've read all the different books that talk about it, but I keep convincing myself I can try it as, I can get that done and that done and that done. Yeah. And then that's when my work-life balance falls out of whack. And then that's when my stress level goes up and nothing gets done properly because I don't see it all the way through because I get bored and I go find something else that got me distracted and was cool idea. So that's probably been the longest and hardest thing to learn that I'm still learning. I'm getting better at it, but I'm really trying to make sure I spend the time like this is my project. Right now, I'm building out a driving for dollars campaign that I want to take over our entire market. And I want my team to have buying because we've tried it before, but it's like, hey, just go around and take pictures of crummy houses. And, I want you guys to find 10 a week. So they'd go to the war zones and just take 10 pictures on the same street. I'm like, no, those aren't driving for dollar leads. Those are garbage houses in garbage neighborhoods that nobody wants.
Yeah.
We need to find the garbage house in the nice neighborhood that everybody wants to fix up live in it once it's fixed up.
Yeah.
So taking the time to actually create that process before launching it, having a plan behind it, but then asking my team, hey, critique this. What can be better? When you find optimization, let's do it. We're a shared knowledge business, so we need to make sure we all are comfortable raising our hand. Hey, could this be done a better way? Hey, this seems kind of janky. Or, hey, you're an idiot. This is a dumb thing to do. Yeah. So I want that honesty in our team. That way we can all be real with each other. Because if I'm running the ship into rocks, I want someone telling me. And being able to focus on one thing at a time allows me to pay attention, further down the path. It allows me to not say, hey, there's 3 different paths and I got to focus on all of them. I have 3 moving targets. I mean, a quote I like to use a lot and I don't always follow is, if you chase 2 rabbits, you catch none. So I'm trying to chase 1 rabbit at a time and focus on which one is the one that is going to either make us the most money, save us the most money, or free up my time.
Yeah, that is, I would recommend people rewind that and listen to it. That sounds like you. Like if you're the kind of person that loves new projects, loves new ideas, and there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're the kind of person that then you find yourself like, shit, I've tried everything and I felt like I have accomplished nothing. That's it right there.
Yep.
It's that focus.
You're spinning your wheels and you're not going anywhere because you are working and you're working hard, but you're not getting all that concentrated effort to get one thing done.
Yeah, I think there was that where was it? It was like an interview. Who said it that when they got Bill Gates and Steve Jobs in a room, was it that? Bill Gates, I think when they got Bill Gates and Steve Jobs in a room, both their fathers were there and they said, write in a piece of paper, 1 word, why you guys are billionaires. And both of them wrote the word focus. They didn't know, right? They were sitting different sides of the room. So it's just so powerful.
It's hard to do though.
Yeah. Well, what are some things that you're doing that's helping you with like keeping yourself focused? Are you like, time management? What kind of things is helping you?
So it's a little woo-woo, I guess, but I've been meditating a lot lately when I wake up in the morning, kind of to build that practice. I use an app. It's called, I think, 10% Better. It's by Dan Harris, who's a newscaster, but he basically built it for people like himself. And I think people like me, where it's like, to focus busy people rather than, the chimes and the gongs and all that stuff. So I've been doing that well with that. I've actually got a lot of days in pretty consistently. So that helps. when I do time block, I try to figure out one thing at a time. Like I put my phone on airplane mode. I try not to keep, Facebook open. I try not to keep my email open. If I have a project I need to get working on, I try to make that my sole focus at that time so I don't get distractions. And a lot of that does come back to time blocking. But at the same point, if we have a hot lead, I'm going to drop what I'm doing to go get that converted.
Yeah.
So there is some give and take on that. And the focus of the business is to be profitable. So going and getting a deal is important. So I'll drop it for that. But if someone says, hey, you want to go grab lunch today, for the second time that week, I'll say, no, I'm busy right now. Yeah. So it's really trying to have an order of things you want done and then not being able to work on that next thing until the first thing's done. So that's kind of what I've been doing a little bit lately. It's been helping to kind of rack and stack them. Like, this is priority one. Nothing else gets done other than, the day-to-day tasks I have to do. Call back people that I need to follow up with, team meetings, family time. Like, those things are non-negotiables. And then I try to do a lot of my stuff in the morning. Like, I'm an early bird. I'm usually up around 4:45, 5 o'clock. So I get a lot of my time done then because my wife's asleep, my 2 kids are asleep, and I can be quiet and just kind of uninterrupted focus time.
Yeah. Love that, man. That's good. Yeah, the focus thing is something about it. Like, I feel like we've all gone through it, that we've gone, like, let's say we have this like one task we have to do, and we're like, we really got to get it done, right? Like, we have no other choice. So then we leave our phones to the side, we put it on silent, and then we do it, and we're like, holy shit! Imagine if I've spent every hour that way in my workday. You'd be like, sometimes that happens to me. Like, I have one day that I'm like so focused and I get so much stuff done. I'm like, shit, what happens if I do every day like this? I don't know if you get those thoughts every once in a while.
I do. And I don't know what it is, but I can't always, my internal ego thinks it can do more. So I need to make sure I keep that badass in check, right? He's good for certain things, but he's an asshole for other things.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Right? It's a love-hate type of relationship because a lot of it's good, but a lot of it's bad. And recognizing and trying to, the more I think I do it, right? It's like building that discipline habit. The more we do it and catch ourselves and correct ourselves and then just keep doing it, it becomes more of a habit that way. Yeah. But it's catching yourself. That's the hard part. And I think meditation helps you with that because part of it's like, hey, when you start wandering off, catch yourself and just start back over. It's no big deal.
Yes.
So having that kind of mentality and just turn it into a game. Oh man, you got yourself chasing a squirrel again. Write it down, put it to the side, come back to it on a break.
I love it. What do you think is kind of like shifting now towards business a little bit? What do you think is what's like the next like where's wholesaling going in the next year to 5?
That's tough to say because I think it really does based on the market. I mean, I know the agency board is fighting it a lot, but now they're getting sued by the people that took down some big like the smoking company, Philip Morris. So they're getting targeted for what was it exactly? For basically controlling the market for the MLS and forcing people to use them, almost like a monopoly, I think. I forgot the exact terminology. So I think they might have their hands full, focus on that, rather than trying to beat out, people like us trying to connect buyers and sellers and doing a service without charging a commission on that. Yes. So I don't know if that's going to be a big thing. I know it's cracked down in some states. I don't know which ones are the worst. I've heard Ohio's pretty tough, but I know people that wholesale the heck out of things in Ohio.
I know a ton of people killing in Ohio. I think Utah recently, I don't know, don't quote me, but I feel like I heard in a podcast that Utah, they really banned assignments. Like, you can't assign properties in Utah.
The thing is, assignments can't be banned. It's contract law, and lawyers will supersede the real estate agency lobby. Right? I mean, all the politicians are lawyers. So that's kind of always been my thought. I don't know where it's going in terms of legality. That's kind of a tough one to say. Yeah. In terms of the market cycle, I think we might be getting near the edge, but I'm not seeing a ton of new builds, at least in my local market. And I do connect with a lot of different investors through our mastermind and just the relationships I've built to hear their pulse. The coasts seem to tend to feel it first, right? Because they have the highest rises in prices, so they get the hit the hardest. So if you start seeing that happen, then that might mean like some of the internal stuff, like you being on the coast, right? So you'll probably feel it before me in Metro Detroit, Michigan will, because we're insulated, around here a little bit. So I think there's probably at least another year or two of it, but I don't know if it's gonna be as crazy of prices, because once the buyers or the landlords start to get a sting from maybe not getting as much as they want to, they're going to be pulling back on their offers. But then again, that might also mean that the prices don't continue to go up. The homeowners won't be buying for the same amount of pricing. So it'll turn from a seller's market to a buyer's market. So in that state, that's when the prices start to go down. So if you have a smart business together, and that's why I'm really trying to focus on learning how to become a much better flipper. Because on the way down, I think the best thing to do is if you can get the right property and the right price and the right team in there, getting in and out of a project, you can undercut the market with the best product and still make a profit. So I kind of envision flipping on the way down, just knowing that the prices are going to be continually going, build that into my thing, and make sure I get a deep enough cut on my discount.
The way I like to think about wholesaling, and I tell people, is, man, we are real estate day traders. People love trading and the Forex and all this shit. We are real estate day traders. No matter how high, wherever the market's going, we're buying a little bit lower and selling low. And we're just trading for like a decimo difference compared to what the price of the house is. Typically about 10%. So no matter if it's going down, you just have to build that into your formula and just buy a little bit lower than the dip and just sell it right there, So
you're entirely right. I think what some wholesalers might be getting spoiled on, though, is that everybody's trying to get in or is becoming into this. And when the correction comes, there's going to come a correction, everybody. It's not going to go up forever.
Yeah.
When the correction comes, some people are going to get whacked.
Like bad.
Yeah. So that means there's not going to be as competitive bidding on your wholesale properties. The buyers might squeeze their numbers. So you're going to have to figure out better margins. Yep. So that's why I almost want to transition into a flipper on the way down, because then I control everything and I don't have to worry about it. I mean, I'll still market it, but if I don't get the number I want or need, that's when I keep it as a flip. So now I have 2-prong approach. And at the bottom, I just want to buy everything, own all the rentals.
Yeah, that's great. I think exactly being a flipper on the way down is so smart because, and it's a lot safer too, if you think about it in a bigger perspective. And typically on a down market in where you're typically wholesaling houses, it will probably make a good rental as well. So and if you control the money, if you can find lenders or, the right hard money partners, and you know how to flip houses or at least something, it's a great way to capitalize on the down market. Huge.
Yeah, I mean, right. That's the thing about growth. You keep adding little tools to your tool belt. I'm learning new things. I've been doing sales since I got out of college, and I'm still learning new things. New books are coming out. New things are coming around. New tactics, techniques, ways of talking to people. Learning about just other things that aren't sales related, like empathy and EQ. Trying to understand. So there's a reason behind the way of saying I'm just not reacting to what I've heard, the click whirl, like if you read Influence by Rabbi Kadimi. So it's like a lot of that. I'm learning more about other things that tie into sales, but it's more about reading people rather than selling tactics, right? The 101 ways to close a deal. Okay, I think people have heard that and then beaten over the head 1,000 times. So they have their shackles up, guarded against it.
Yeah. I feel like the sales world, I think, is getting so smart. The sales and marketing world, it's getting so detailed, so psychological that it's scary, like in a good way. It's scary how good people are getting at sales and marketing. It's scary.
Well, the nice thing about it, in my opinion, is if you're doing it the right way and not for evil, you're solving a problem. And if you're doing a good job in selling is you're not pitching them stuff. You're understanding who they are, what their situation is, why they're in that situation, what a good resolution to that situation looks like to them, and seeing if what we can offer them fits that.
Yeah.
It doesn't refer them to somebody that can or advise them in ways to get out of it. Right? There's plenty of deals I go on that don't convert into a sale right now. Sometimes they come back. Sometimes they get in a better position. Sometimes they go to somebody else that is a better fit for them. Yeah. And I'm happy to do that because, I want it to be a win-win. And if you're doing it the right way, that's what good sales and marketing is. You're understanding the situation. You're finding the people that you connect with best. And you're using those tactics to open them up so you can understand if you are the right fit.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's awesome. What are some good sales books you've read recently?
I have been on repeat listening to Never Split the Difference.
I like that.
I read it a while ago. I kind of forgotten about it. And then I plugged it into my Audible audiobooks when I was driving around. I'm like, oh man, I forgot about all this. And I just been digging back into it because I got distracted. I was trying to do too many things. So I was probably listening to it while I was doing something else, driving around, you can still have the focus, but I was probably like moving boxes around or,
Yeah.
So I didn't totally dig into it and digest it. And this time around, I'm like, man, I missed a lot of stuff, and I probably lost a lot of deals by not knowing some of these things earlier or remembering these things earlier.
No, that book is awesome. I think I've read it like 3 times. I got to read it more, but that's like a book you got to read like 3-4 times a year, in my opinion, 5 times a year if you could. All right, man. So yeah, just a few more questions before we wrap up here. This is a question I like to ask. It gets the wheels turning. I think you probably appreciate it. You're like a visionary, running really fast type of dude. What is the next, or what is in your mind the $100 million play in real estate? That's involved real estate. Doesn't have to be wholesale. It could be anything.
I think it's going to be moving towards mega companies. So me partnering with Don Costa in Fresno and you in Miami and have an overarching business where people kind of come together as like a conglomerate. Mm-hmm. So we can have shared housing for lead intake. Right? We all share that, but we can all be in different markets. Then same thing, right? We can have shared marketing expenses and drive those costs down because we're sending 1 million cards a month or a week. So I think having that collective community of people that pool their resources together. I mean, mastermind groups try to do that for group rates, but if you literally say, I'm going to pull 1 million, like it's hard to get everyone to switch in any because their habits, worn in trenches. But I think people are going to start collecting into bigger and bigger businesses, like collecting the localized units, because real estate is local. Yeah. You can manage it top down, and you can have call centers that have, if you have this type of Southern accent, that phone rings this section of the call center. Mm. Or, if you're going to, if you need to squeeze your mailers down by, a penny, and you think they have the lowest rate, well, hey, I'm gonna go to this mail house and give them 1 million postcards a month. Are you sure you can't squeeze that penny out for me? Maybe
or just buy the damn mail house at that point.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, that's probably a better point, right? See, even bigger. You have your own mail house, have your own skip tracing source, have your own list generating source, compete with, the list source type companies. Yeah. You just own it all. So I think that could be the $100 million, $100 billion idea, whatever it might be. And that's one of those things that's a consistent revenue source too. So it's not like just acquiring little things. It's something that can continue to produce, because real estate's always going to happen. Houses are going to continue to break down until they figure out a way to make it indestructible material, and people are content with having the exact same stuff all the time, and they don't ever need to move. Yeah. They never have life situations. I don't foresee that happening in my lifetime, but who knows? Maybe, what's his face? The billionaire. I'm blanking on his name. The guy thinks that everyone's going to live to like 1,000.
Elon Musk?
No, Abundance. Oh, I listen to his podcast too, and I can't think of his name right now.
Billionaire, million.
All right, I'm going to have to look this up now.
He's the Indian guy?
No, Peter Diamandis.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, SpaceX.
So he's partnered with.
Focused on life extension now. Sorry, went on a tangent there. See, I chase squirrels.
Dude, that's good. So yeah, basically coming together and all the localizing, or making a big company with all local companies, putting a lot of local companies together to bring down costs, to be able to do more marketing, increase lead flow.
McDonald's of real estate.
Yeah.
Have a process, plant up franchises. Not in the same model of home investors, right? Where you're training people and people are buying in. It's more
like a collective community.
Yeah. Like here's a proven business model, or, here, transplant people and transfer them around. Like, hey, you're crushing over here. You got promoted to Miami. You got out of Detroit. Congratulations.
Shit. Okay. That's a pretty good one. I haven't heard that one before. I like that. Dude. So, all right. So last quick question. All right. So what is one tactical move that you can give somebody right now? They want to get their first deal. They have about $1,000 in the bank or in a credit card that they can spend, and they want to get one deal. At this day and age, August 14th, 2019, what would you do?
I would buy 100 bandit signs.
Okay.
And I would print off a bunch of flyers saying you're interested in buying your house. And I would drive for dollars, slap stickers on people's doors, and put bandit signs in corners of areas that have high traffic or are in areas that look like might be a good fit for your target seller.
Okay.
Because those are low cost, they're time intensive. They can be, but I mean, I did a Facebook Live a little bit earlier today. I was getting my oil changed. I saw a neighborhood I didn't recognize. I cruised in there. I slapped up 4 signs today, not bandit signs, but 4 driving for dollars. I threw them in our system. We're going to start following up with them.
Shit.
One of them pops. Awesome. I spent half an hour doing that on my way to and from an oil change. So, I mean, it doesn't take a lot. And I know I've been told too many times that driving for dollars works.
Yeah.
It's just people don't stick to it because they want to level up, which is smart. But at the same point, right, we're out there hustling. Why not, if you have a little extra time, keep yourself connected and grounded. Like, I like doing sales. So I don't like going out on the acquisitions. I don't like all the rest of the stuff in the business. Right. I do it. I help manage it. I help create the processes, but I want other people to run it because it's not my natural home base where I'm good and I'm comfortable.
Right.
Talking to people and solving problems and trying to get that win is really exciting to me. So I like that. So I want to keep that as a part of me. And maybe it doesn't mean I do it all day, every day. I can definitely restrict my calendar down, but I love doing it. And I like to make sure that I want to make sure I'm leading by example too, because I'm expecting my team to buy into driving for dollars and, cold calling, networking, and all of that stuff. So I got to make sure I do it.
Yeah. They see
who would I be as a leader if I'm asking them to do it and I'm not willing to do it myself?
Right. Exactly.
Unless you have a really large and established business, then a little bit makes more sense. And we do have an established business, but we're not Walmart.
Yeah. No, that's good, man. So basically buy some bandit signs, print out some flyers with, that should take you a couple $100 to do. And just go out there and actually physically drive and put the signs and put the flyers on the door, and you'll get some calls. You'll get some calls.
Yeah. They might not be happy. Be ready for that. Right? There's a lot of people that get angry when you talk about their house, right? It's typically their most valuable possession. So when they do call angry, be empathetic to a degree. Understand where they're coming from, because not everyone buys and sells as many houses as we do. Most people sell 1 or 2 in their life if they're lucky. So think about it from that angle. So people get guarded on that. So when someone comes at you hot, try to figure out a way to diffuse it, because they're just coming from an emotional place. And if we can help diffuse that and say, hey, I'm really sorry. I wasn't trying to offend you. I just thought this might be a good opportunity for us. And I was just asking if you were interested. If you're not, I'll leave you alone. I'm not here to bug you. Yeah. So trying to really diffuse them. And then, if you start going real sheepish, sometimes they'll go, oh man, I went too hard. Right? People know when they effed up and they kind of overdid it on somebody, and that person starts going, oh, I'm really sorry. Then you're like, oh shit. Yeah. I'm an asshole now. So go the super apologetic route. And if you're not the right fit, who cares? There are millions of houses out there.
Yeah. You will find something. I love that, man. There's basically no excuses to get houses. But Mike, dude, it's been awesome. A ton of good stuff on here. Ton of good stuff. Dude, how can people follow you, find you, connect with you if they're in the Detroit market, if they want to learn more from you or connect?
I'm on Facebook, Mike Cowper. Please feel free to add me as a friend. I feel so weird. I'm not that old, but I don't know how to use Instagram or Twitter. With the new mastermind group that, Don and I are launching, we've got 2 other partners, Melissa Johnson out of San Antonio, her and Danny Johnson. They have the Flipping Junkie podcast, and then Ryan Scalaba out of Pittsburgh. 4 high-level people, including myself. We're really trying to build a community for people that are actually doing it. So we're going to try and help people that are getting started and point them in the right direction, but we're really trying to build that community of proven doers and givers, people that really want to be in a room of people trying to grow. So if you want to reach out and talk about that, send me a message on Facebook. I can be reached at Mike, Mike, Cowper, COW, as in Paul, ER, at WeBuy, that's BUYROI.com. That's my email address. Feel free to shoot me an email. I'm happy to chat and connect. If you have any interest in anything we're doing, I'm happy to talk with you. And if you want to get on our buyers list here in Metro Detroit, it's WeBuyROI.com.
Love it. Simple enough. And we'll put all the sites and stuff in the show notes so you guys can connect. But dude, Mike, this has been awesome. And I feel like if you guys are really looking at doing this or scaling or getting from 1 deal to 100 or getting from 0 deals to 1, dude, Mike's for sure a good person to follow. He's actually doing this stuff. And if you're in the Detroit market, I mean, you shouldn't call anybody else, but who else?
Yeah, come on by. Happy to show you the office and grab coffee or lunch.
Yeah, dude, I love that. Some drinks. But dude, yeah, man, I hope to connect one of these days. I know we'll probably seen each other in one of these events, one of these times or something. But again, it's been awesome having you. If you like this stuff and you found this valuable, guys, you can subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. Click the bell. And yeah, that'll be the end of the show. So thank you guys for listening. Again, Mike, thanks again, brother.
Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. It's been awesome.
Cool. So we'll see you guys on the next episode.